Hi, this is Red from Four Guys in a Comic, and it's time to talk about Secret Empire #1. Yes, I've done a lot of YouTube videos building up to this, and here we are finally with issue #1. And my gosh, look at that wonderful, great cover we have right there. But before we get into issue #1, I want you to peer into my cosmic cube, look into it deeply, and we together shall look at some of the variant covers that were offered for issue #1. All right, so first up we have this one. I don't think I need to explain who the artist is for this. Pretty cool looking cover. I love it. Second variant here, it's pretty nice. Gotta love that art. Love variant cover art. Here we go with #3, action figure variant. Really cool. Can't wait to get this one in the mail. The next one, really nice, cool looking cover. Finally, we have after that one, this one right here, as you can see. Really cool. And then after that, one of my personal favorites with the Hailing Hydra cover. Really nice. Followed by our next cover. Whoops. And this one as well. Sorry, got ahead of myself there a little bit. And then of course finally we have the black and white sketch variant for it as well. Only the 9 variants so far right now at the time of this recording, but there are more scheduled, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see at least 20 different variants for this. But let's go ahead and jump into Secret Empire #1. All right, so let's go ahead and look at that first page, shall we? So we see, what we've come to find out later, an Inhuman is taking his son to school, and the son's complaining that his lunchbox was stolen by a bully at school. And the son was like, "Oh, can you find me another lunchbox?" And the father's like, "Sure, I'll find another Captain Fastest America lunchbox for you." And so the kid gets into class, right as the bell rings, and instead of starting the class with the Pledge of Allegiance, they all start with the mighty Hail Hydra. During the class, basically we discover that for the history that textbooks were burned because history wasn't correct, and now that they have the correct history, that it is now being taught in the class. And in this next page, you see, the 3 most important things that everybody must learn, or the 3 guiding principles for Hydra is trust authority, punish weakness, and report threats. That being said, one of the kids reports a threat that this kid's brother is weird and strange. Well, then it jumps into the brother who gets back home and is sick, vomiting up that lunchbox. So it appears that when he sees pictures, that he can actually recreate these things and vomit them out. Well, as this happens, see the next page, the Hydra authority comes and arrests him for not legally registering as an Inhuman. Finally, it breaks into what we've seen in the past with Secret Empire Spotlight, which we've talked about before in the video. So Carol Danvers out in space put out a stress call for anybody at any planets to help out, because her whole thing is, if he's taking us over, he's not going to stop with the United States. He's not going to stop with the world. He's going to keep moving on, and pretty soon Hydra will be at your doorstep as well. From right after that, it then breaks again what we saw again in Marvel Spotlight with this young man running from Hydra agents. Seems that he is on his way to meet the Underground, when at the train station he was spotted and is running from the authorities to elude capture. When he meets basically the Hulk, and the Hulk saves him and says, "Yes, we are the Underground, and do you have what you mentioned on the internet?" And he's like, "Yeah, I have it." So they decided to get him back to the Underground headquarters when Hydra dreadnoughts are after them. So they get into the Fantastic Mobile and head out with some problems, but they make it away. Then we get back into Denver, and this monster has awoken from a sleep and is basically out for his snack, so before he goes to slumber again, and basically telling people, "Come over here, I'll make it painless, I'll eat you." Captain America comes up to him and is basically like, "You know what? I'm the ruler, I'm the protector of these people," and basically gives this monster an ultimatum: either go back to the hole they came from or die, because Hydra is about protecting people. And in the past, the Avengers were ones that would capture him and either have him run away fleeing or make him as a prisoner, which he will inevitably escape from. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. Either you succumb to the will of Hydra or you die. And so, Captain America basically says, Avengers assemble. And out comes Thor and Scarlet Witch, Deadpool, Taskmaster, all these people, and kill the monster. Well, in the news, it is talked about how the citizens cheered for the Avengers because there was no casualties and minimal property damage. It also talked about how violent crime was down 75%. The stock market making it a world breaking exchange for the second month straight. 2,000 new jobs were opened up for a new Hydra Works program facility. Meanwhile, in overseas, relations are going really well. And basically, Hydra is taking care of the people. It is doing everything that it was set out to do. It is making America a better, safer place for everybody. Now, then it breaks into Captain America at, a meeting with all the head of Hydra. And all of them are giving status reports on what's going on. And, one of those being that they've opened up more correctional facilities for Inhumans that will indefinitely be holding them. And then it also talks about Denver. And Captain was unaware of this, so they explained what happened, and it kind of flashes back to Denver, showing this panel here about them escaping and how it ended up going up on YouTube and having 50 million views before it got shut down. And the council complained, yeah, we should have gotten rid of the internet and people should not have the internet anymore. But Cap was like, no, that's that's going a little too far. So then they start questioning Cap's authority. They've captured Rick Jones, which we've talked about in previous videos, and how he needs to be made an example of, and Cap needs to step up to his authority. And so as it keeps moving on, Cap is like, yeah, don't worry, I'll be doing something. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. It's my job. Going back, we see, the rescue party from the underground making it to Las Vegas, to their secret headquarters. And of course, when they get there, Hawkeye's not too happy because, what were they doing? They made it onto YouTube. They were filmed. They could have been spotted coming to this place. And then they meet the young man, Ray Sean. He likes to go by Sean. Turns out that he has a flash drive with information on how to stop Hydra, how to fix Captain America, and to make things right. And turns out that he received the flash drive from Rick Jones, who in turn received the stuff back from Eric, as we've seen in the past. We're talking about through all these videos already. So Sean is told to go take him, or Hawkeye tells, the guys, oh, go take Sean to the drunk. It then flashes over to Captain America having a meal with Sharon. She refuses to eat and just still is in denial and upset, with Steve, that how in the heck can you have been Hydra this whole time? And, Steve is like, you know what? I'm here to do better for the world. This is what we both wanted. I want you to either join me or, your situation is going to change. She's like, well, if you want to see me change, then you need to let Rick Jones go free. From there, we see Cap going to visit Rick in the prison. And basically the conversation is, Cap appealing to him, saying, hey, please, you know what? I've been put into a position that I have to uphold the rules that I set forth. I'm only as good as my word. And so Rick is basically, like, no, I'm not going to do it. And Cap's like, please, all you got to do is say, Hail Hydra, and I can help save you. And Rick is like, sorry, I can't do it. But you know what? Whatever happened to you, whatever, is going on with you, I'm not worried. I have faith in you because you're my hero. Wow. Okay. So it gets more intense from there. We get back to Sean being taken to the drunk. And as we see in the following page here, the drunk being Tony Stark. And Tony, talking to Sean about, how he has all this work to do, and blah, 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 blah. And how he's just not going to get to it right now because he needs to worry more about fixing the air conditioning in the building. And he'll get to it maybe Thursday. Going on from there, Sean is kind of like, what do you mean you're going to get to it? You have a chance to save Cap. And he's like, you know what? It can wait. I got work to do. And though kind of breaks into then, Black Widow comforting Hawkeye, telling, that, Hawkeye did all this. He created this underground and found a place for them to stay and how wonderful he's doing. Breaks into Hailing Hydra, going in basically with, what's his name, Doctor Strange. And Cap shows up and she can tell that Steve is trouble, so they sit down and talk. And she's basically, talking about what's going on, and, Steve is like, I'm not sure what exactly to do, because as it goes into it, they realize that if he doesn't do something against Rick Jones, it shows that he's weak. If he does what the council says, it means he's even weaker. So from there, it goes into, the council, being talked about by the two of them about how they are also corrupt. And finally, it goes into this supposedly this elegant speech. Captain America's addressing the nation. Good evening, my fellow Americans, and Hail Hydra. And the text here is like, it was a speech everyone said they'd never forget. But the truth is, if you press them, no one could recite more than a few words of it back to you. They'd just tell you where they were and how it changed them. All right. So at the end of that panel, you see Rick being tied to a post. And in the following page, he's at a firing squad and he screams out, "Avengers, assemble!" before he gets shot and killed. Breaks back into the hideaway for the underground, and some strange noises going on. And citizens and everybody are looking up in the sky, and they see Hydra ships all over the sky, which takes us to our last panel, where Hydra's invasion force is destroying Las Vegas. Oh, wow, lots of stuff that went on. A long, big issue for issue number 1. Really great, exciting stuff. So much going on in Secret Empire. Check out, if you're kind of confused with what was going on, check out the previous videos to help understand everything that I've been talking about. Check out the videos that are coming up, because we'll be going more in depth with everything. All right, well, until later, guys, remember, Hail Hydra, cut off one head, 2 more shall take its place.